Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am a little late getting a video out today because I've been watching a lot of the Swell stuff this morning, and there's a lot of little things that came up out of that, but there wasn't any not that I'm aware of, not any major announcement. But you know, every time when I was in Singapore and when I was watching this today, I'm always struck by just how, what's the word for it? Well, I can remember standing in the room in Singapore, and it's almost like you're standing in a dream. The people that are around you, the atmosphere, it's not like something that most of us have ever been around. And so it's kind of a different world. When I think of what Ripple is doing, I mean, I really think of it as they're changing the entire world. And when you're standing in that room and when you're watching virtually and you're listening to these people and seeing the presentation and the way that they are talking and speaking and the presentation of things and how it's put together, you just feel it in your gut that you're a part of something that you're going to tell your grandchildren about. Hopefully I'll be telling my grandchildren about it, because what I'm thinking while I'm watching all this is that this is exactly what I have thought that it was since 2013. I didn't think it in 2013, but in the last 2 years, it's exactly what I've thought that it is. And I'm just happy to be along for the ride, and I really appreciate Ripple inviting me. And I'm looking forward also. It's going to be later. It's not something that's airing in the thing, but it's going to be later next week. The thing that David Schwartz invited me to, where they're going to have it's like an online meeting to just talk about things. So it'll be interesting to see what that's about and what's going on with that. But I'm going to hit several different things, including a few things about Swell today. First thing, this was a retweet from Ripple. Cambridge Global Payments and Ripple partnership goes live. Read the press release here. This is a great opportunity to use distributed ledger technology to reduce payment delivery times while broadening our reach. That's from the president of Cambridge FX. And then they also retweeted this. This is Ripple. This guy right here is a director account management at Ripple. And he says he's talking about an award that was given to Saab Bank. They were awarded blockchain innovation rewards for leading customer impact, leveraging RippleNet, transforming its customer experience, bringing speed and certainty. Congratulations. And then this was a real highlight at Swell. Mercy Corps takes the stage at Ripple Swell to discuss how it's expanding financial inclusion. And this is a word I heard a lot during Swell. Financial inclusion. And every time, and by the way, they started this morning, they started Swell, as I recall, with, if you remember the Ripple commercial, I should have pulled it up. If you go to the Ripple channel on YouTube, you can find it. Type in Ripple commercial and you'll find it. But it's that commercial that I've shown on this channel before, where at some point you see a guy out in the middle of, it looks like Africa or India, and he's out in the bush, and you can see elephants, and he's sending money on his phone. And then you see somebody that's an astronaut in outer space sending money or receiving, and then there's a girl at a wedding. Well, that commercial starts the thing off, and that's what, when I see financial inclusion, that's what I think of, is they're trying to include people in the banking system that are people that are out in the middle of nowhere or in outer space. But financial inclusion was a big theme. And that little phrase right there, you will see at the World Economic Forum, the World Bank, the UN, the ECB, all these major worldwide organizations, they're talking about financial inclusion. You saw it in Davos. Okay. discuss how it's expanding financial inclusion and increasing economic empowerment globally. Watch live. Now, they did do a segment on this. This is the article, and I wanted to just show you. Today, Ripple is proud to announce a $10 million USD contribution to Mercy Corp to expand financial inclusion and increase economic empowerment globally. All right, so there was that. All right, I'm going to cover some different topics now, and I'm going to come back to Swell as well. Riz XRP sent me this. Flare. Flare's delighted to introduce Decent as a hardware wallet partner beyond just holding Spark. Decent will be working with Flare to build useful functionality, including allowing Spark holders to delegate their Oracle votes to earn interest on their Spark. And then this is the tweet that Decent Wallet sent out. Now I want to give you a caveat here. I don't know anything about Decent Wallet. I did look at their website, and it looks like they're out of Korea. Okay, South Korea. I'm assuming this is a biometric. I'm assuming it's a biometric hard wallet, similar to a hard wallet like Ledger Nano S, but I don't have one. I don't use one, and I would be very careful in taking on another hard wallet. I don't know anything about this thing, but they're going to support the Flare drop. Okay. XRP Crypto Wolf CEO Brad Garlinghouse teases fun surprises at Swell. Ripple's new XRP lending service reduces approval times to just 24 hours, with rates varying from 4% to 12% on an APR basis. All loans will be repaid in local currencies instead of XRP. All right, so this is the real. If you want the news out of Swell, they did a demo of this, and I'm sure the demo will be available to show here soon. They said they were going to make everything available, but I just didn't want to show anything. They asked people not to. But it says the rates will be from 4 to 12% APR. Now, this is going to be very interesting, and I think the lending thing is going to be, that's the big thing to come out of the last couple of weeks, really, maybe the last few months. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. Naveen Gupta tweeted this out. The case for regulation of cryptocurrency in India. Without regulations, India will miss out on opportunities that are enjoyed by many markets around the world. And he's tweeting out an article I'm not going to go into. It's just, they're still working on India. I think India is one of the linchpins of Ripple's plan. Michael at VAL5 links. This was a tweet by Stephen Bull-Diep that I thought was very interesting. According to CoinShares, an institutional investor, the current fair value for XRP is 10.14 euro. Okay. Now, I haven't done a conversion on what that is in US dollars, but I think the conversion is like 1 point something. So I think that's probably $11 or $12 US dollars, in as far as the conversion there. Now, what's interesting about this, they've got a fair value of 1014 euro for XRP. Now, that's a lot more than what XRP shows on CoinMarketCap. But Crypto D brought to my attention that for Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have a much lower price than what they actually are in real life, which I find pretty darn fascinating. It's especially fascinating for me because I know that proof of work does not work, just like Ryan Zagone said. That makes it very interesting to me. Now, who is CoinShares? I went and looked at CoinShares, and it says at CoinShares, our mission is to expand access to digital asset ecosystem while serving as a trusted partner for clients. I wanted to go and look at the people at CoinShares, and I found a couple that were interesting. These two, Daniel Masters and Melton Demers, because I've heard her name 1,000 times. This guy, I had not heard his name, but I have heard his last name. I immediately thought, I wonder if he is related to someone we've talked about before, and it turns out that he is. Daniel Masters, who's the chairman of CoinShares, this is his LinkedIn profile. He turns out, if you go back, way back in his resume, he was at JP Morgan. Well, we know another Masters that was at JP Morgan. That would be Blythe Masters. Daniel Masters is the ex-husband of Blythe Masters, who also joined the Bitcoin industry. All right. Everything's connected, right? And if you don't remember Blythe Masters, here's Blythe Masters. XRP Darren back in 2019 was wondering if there was any connections to Ripple. First thing that's important about Blythe Masters is that she's widely credited as the creator of the credit default swap, which created the financial crisis, folks, which was a big part. And then she was dispatched, I guess, by JP Morgan to go create the industry that would fix what happened in the financial crisis. And then this person says Blythe Masters was the CEO of the fintech company Digital Asset, and she attended the high-level advisory group. Remember that? She happened to be, remember, that's Brad Garlinghouse, that's Christine Lagarde, that's Jess Ching, I think is her name, who was with Ripple as well, and is now, I think, with the IMF. But this is the IMF high-level advisory group that had Chris Larson on it and also had Blythe Masters right there. It's a small world, isn't it? And then this is that Melton Demirors. I just wanted to show you that what her holdings are, because this is her disclosures, and it says material cryptocurrency token holdings. And yes, looks like she sees a future in Ripple and Stellar, which I do too. Now, Nomura-backed digital asset custody firm launches in Jersey. This is an article about CoinShares. So it's a Nomura, which we've heard that name before, haven't we? Nomura is backing CoinShares. And as you go down here to the bottom, it says, Nomura Holdings has tokenized asset joint venture with Nomura Research called Boostry. And then here we have SBI takes 10% stake in Nomura NRI blockchain unit Boostry. All right. Then we have XRP Bart right here. And my mother's calling me, but I'm going to call her back in 1 second. Emi Yoshikawa. It seems that the number of cases where esports player rewards are paid in cryptocurrency will increase, starting with this. And what this is this is an article about this guy, and XRP Crypto Wolf summed it up. The world's best Sonic player and professional Super Smash Brothers player, and his name is SBI Kim, I guess that's what he goes by, will receive his annual salary pay all in XRP from SBI. Wonder what he knows. I'm going to follow him. He's got to know something. Okay. And then there was this. This is from RT. I want you to watch this. This is a pretty interesting video right here. Watch this. It's about the global reset. I don't know if this music's going to be a problem or not.
We have to prepare for a more angry world, and how to prepare. It means to take the necessary action.
What we want to do in Davos this year in this respect is to push the reset button.
We want to push the reset button. See right there, it says blockchain. I'm sure we'll see some more. There it says fourth industrial revolution. There it says digital economy, a new value creation. There it says quantum computing, digital identity.
History would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset.
The next time someone tells us that tackling climate change is either too costly or too difficult, I think we need to remind them and remind ourselves of what just is happening right now.
Treat the climate crisis like you treat any other crisis.
It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world.
we not only have to demand change, but also create change.
And then we need to couple that with new initiatives to equip more people with the digital skills they'll need, not just to have a tech job, but a job that is increasingly tech-enabled in almost every part of the economy.
At the start of the pandemic, working from home might have felt like a welcome change. Now, with longer days and less interaction, some employees are starting to feel burnt out.
Some employers are turning to software to monitor what their employees are doing all day long.
You need private sector capital, private sector ingenuity, private sector technology, and private sector capabilities to come to the party.
This morning, a mind-boggling report on layoffs. More than 6.6 million Americans filing new claims for unemployment insurance last week, the largest number in a single week ever.
We will now start a quite high number of task forces to look at all the different issues, and we will present all those ideas to the people assembled in Davos.
And just like that, everything in the world is made right and pure again. The Great Reset. What could be simpler?
I thought that was an interesting video and also a little creepy. But I also wanted to show you this. This is from Julian Flash. Listen to this. This is the lady that runs the IMF. I never try to say her name because I know well, Kristalina Georgieva. I guess that's how you say it. Anyway, she's talking about a Bretton Woods moment. Wonder what that means.
Of the conference, John Maynard Keynes captured the significance of international cooperation as hope for the world. If we can continue, the brotherhood of men will have become more than a phrase, he said. As we look forward to welcoming Andorra as our 190th member, the work of the IMF is testament to the values of cooperation and solidarity on which a sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity is built. Today, we face a new Bretton Woods moment, a pandemic that has already cost more than 1 million lives, an economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4% smaller this year and strip an estimated 11 trillion of output by next year.
All right. A new Bretton Woods moment. And then there was this from Swell. This is the Sheila Warren, and Ripple put this clip out, so it's okay for me to show. This is from Sheila Warren. She was being interviewed by Monica Long, and this is a clip that happened actually today. Or maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember.
We have not yet really solved the digital identity problem. This is a huge issue. And I think until we solve that problem, we are really impeded and hampered in how much adoption we can actually realistically see. Mm-hmm. This is the reason why a lot of activity has been relegated to bank, settlements and things like this, because the identity question is not as critical, because they're known institutions or known customer base, et cetera. Some of those things are kind of solved. And what you're doing is really putting an additional kind of parallel system in that everyone agrees is going to be compliant, right? There's not a huge concern there. But as we really move to the unbanked or underbanked, there's some threshold questions. One is the goal kind of parallel system in that everyone agrees is going to be compliant, right? There's not a huge concern.
Parallel system, that's interesting.
As we really move to the unbanked or underbanked, there's some threshold questions. One is the goal to get some of these people into the traditional system or not? Because if it is, it's a very different approach to a CBDC than if it's not.
Do you know who I heard, and I just saw that, I didn't even notice what she said before, but do you know who else said, there's one person I have heard float the idea that there's a parallel system that was being put up. And that's when that guy Charlie Ward said that there was going to be a parallel system that was going to run parallel with the SWIFT system, he called it a quantum financial system. Who knows? But he said parallel system. Let's listen to her say that one more time.
hampered in how much adoption we can actually realistically see. This is the reason why a lot of activity has been relegated to bank, settlements and things like this, because the identity question is not as critical, because they're known institutions or known customer base, et cetera. Some of those things are kind of solved. And what you're doing is really putting an additional kind of parallel system in that everyone agrees is going to be compliant, right? There's not a huge concern there.
And then there's one other reference to parallel that I've heard, and that is at the Chamber of Digital Commerce, the conference that they are doing, the virtual conference they're doing online, where they're having all these people from Brad Garlinghouse to Chris Giancarlo to Brian Brooks of the OCC. That conference is called the Parallel Conference. Words do mean things sometimes. All right. Now, one other thing that she mentioned, not in this clip, but she mentioned when she was speaking at Swell, I saw it this morning, is she mentioned this digital currency governance consortium that was formed. And she mentioned that I remember talking about this. This was back during Davos. And I remember talking about it, but I never read anything specifically saying that Ripple was in it. Well, she said Ripple is in this digital currency governance consortium. And if you go down here, it says this project is a part of the World Economic Forum's Shaping the Future of Technology Governance, Blockchain, and Digital Assets Platform. And if you look, actually, it's over here. If you look over here, this is when you click on this is where it takes you to right here. Shaping the Future of Technology Governance, Blockchain, and Digital Assets. And they've got some related links. One is the Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is the same division of this organization that came up with that paper that said that XRP and JP Morgan coin would be for interbank and intrabank settlement. Right? Small world, isn't it? Now, there's a video here that I'm worried if I play this video, I think I'll get flagged. I'm not going to play it, but you can go and you can find this. Just Google Shaping the Future of Technology Governance, Blockchain, and Digital Assets. When you watch it, the interesting thing is that she is actually in it. She's in the video, and it's a whole video about this. Now, one other thing about Swell, Ripple gave Vi Americas an award at Swell. Just wanted to show you one interesting thing about Vi Americas. They're the number one ranked licensed money transmitter offering international money transfer, bill payment, check processing, They are a private company. The International Finance Corporation is a part of the World Bank, is a part of the World Bank, is the company's second largest shareholder. And then it says voting share 20%. The United States interest in the IFC is managed by the Secretary of the Treasury and as a governor and by the executive director appointed by the president. So you got the United States and the World Bank are big time owners in Vi Americas. What a coincidence. Now, I've had a lot of people asking me about the VPN. I've got a virtual private network. This is how you keep crazy people on the internet from knowing where you are, or hackers and that kind of stuff. I'm going to play this for those of you that don't know, and just know in the description of all my videos, I have a link to this where you can get a 7-day trial. Okay. It's either 7-day 99-cent trial or it's free. I can't even remember. But anyways, a 7-day, trial that you can do. And, if you click, it's a link in the description of all my videos, but this is how Pure VPN works.
What a VPN is and how it can help you on the internet. Think of a VPN as steroids for your devices, giving them the maximum firepower. Your devices will need this power to accomplish 3 epic tasks. 1. You'll be able to securely stream your favorite content on any device from anywhere in the world at blazing fast speeds. You'll be able to overcome content blocks, geo-restrictions, and content censorships imposed in certain countries. 3. You and your activities will be invisible to hackers and spies, even when you're using public networks. Awesome, right? But how does a VPN do all this and more? By definition, VPN means virtual private network. And as boring as the name sounds, the servers in our network can help you in many wonderful ways. PureVPN has more than 750 servers in more than 180 locations around the world. PureVPN users are free to connect to any server of their choice in any location. Since you now have a private connection, you can access any streaming channel from anywhere. The data you sent via Pure VPN gets encrypted and encapsulated inside a tunnel, allowing you to bypass any restriction and censorships in your country. Since your data is encrypted and is inside a tunnel, no hackers, spy, or even your ISP can see your online activities. In a nutshell, a VPN makes the internet free from restrictions, censorships, surveillance, and attacks. Exactly like it should be. You don't need to be techie to use a VPN. Just download the app for your desktop or smartphone and enjoy complete internet freedom. Essentially, once you go VPN, you never go back.
I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that if you don't have a VPN, you're vulnerable. Thank you for listening.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.